Thank you very much for watching. How's this for a mega panel this evening? Nothing but all stars. Welcome to another sausage party, but it's a good one this Thursday night. The great Graham Richardson, the king amongst us, the Labor legend, the living legend, the man that we love here, of course, is joining us from Sydney and Canberra right now, is none other than Senator James Regar from Queensland. Well, I can't pump anyone up as much as Richo, so I'll just continue on here. The wonderful Michael Kroger, of course, joining us from Melbourne, as is Nicholas Reece, their Deputy Mayor. So let's get on with it. Now, Richo, you were literally the first. Back when the vibe was saying 60-40 yes, you were one of the first to come out and say, no, not going to happen, right? What were you able to smell that nobody else could in the Labor kitchen when this thing was flying high and you were able to say, no, it's going to sink like a stone?
Well, I don't think it's a matter of any great insight. I mean, it's just the fact that referendums don't get up here. So the only way you're going to get a referendum up, basically, is to give a gold bar to every voter. I didn't see that happening, so I thought it would go under.
Also, what about today, where the conversation where, James, you saw this play out in the Senate yesterday, which is that the Labor Party is going to go out of its way, Greens, Pocock as well. They're going to punish Jacinta Price, right? Her place in history is to be punished for denying the Prime Minister his place in history. And what do you think about particularly the performance of Tim Ayres, New South Wales Senator, to deciding to leap in that it was all some sort of a revenge attack, trying to have a royal commission into what's been happening to kids in Indigenous areas?
It was shameful what happened in the Senate this week. What Senator Ayres said and what some of the Green senators said, I actually thought shame upon the Senate. Senator Napier Price has long been an advocate for the rights of children, to protect children, and it just shows that Labor don't actually understand what happened on Saturday. They don't understand why the Australian people voted no. And the more that Labor go down this path of playing politics rather than coming up and supporting practical solutions, just shows they're just going to end up in a very bad place, and that could be opposition.
Nicholas, obviously, you're somebody that was disappointed by the referendum result, but what about sort of the Albo pivot? Nothing to see here, nothing behind me, no $450 million bin fire, no rejection of the idea by 60% of the country. Instead, he's strutting around and pretending that it was the 60-40 result the other way. And what about this narrative that they're already starting to build, right? Okay, politics is a bare-knuckle business, but already people out there with the, let's just be direct. Peter Dutton is Australia's Donald Trump garbage that is starting to float around as the long-term narrative they're going to try and build against Dutton, who, last time I checked, was on the side where the majority of Australians were on this issue.
Well, look, I think Anthony Albanese wants to move the debate on to cost of living as quickly as possible, and that's why you would have heard Labor saying that cost of living is the number one issue about 1 million times so far this week.
Just not last
on Bridget
week.
Archer, I mean, I do think that one of the strengths of the Liberal Party, you might not expect to say this, but one of the strengths of the Liberal Party is that they do allow their MPs to vote with their conscience, and they do allow them to cross the floor if their conscience so directs them. In fact, I would like to see the Labor Party give more latitude for that sort of thing. And so it may be a source of great inconvenience and annoyance to Peter Dutton today that Bridget Archer has done that, but I actually think what she has done is part of one of the strengths of the Liberal Party. So much as it may annoy you and James and many others on that side of politics, I think there's a broader principle that we saw there today, which is actually a pretty good thing in Australian politics.
She can vote whichever way she wants, as long as it means one less teal, then I don't care, right, about what happens, because you're either part of less than 76, which means that you're in minority or opposition, or if you're in government, hopefully you have a little more than that. So I'm not going to fall for the outrage that is what Liberals can do, which is to cross the floor. In this case, I think it was a wrong decision, but I'm not going to give people what they want.